Today is July 4th, and this is the date that is celebrated in the United States as Independence Day. It was on this date, July 4th, 1776, that the Declaration of Independence was officially signed, which signified that the former colonists of the 13 colonies now declared themselves to be the leaders of 13 states. And those states wished to live independently of the British Crown, which had, in their eyes, in their minds, devolved into tyranny, which was no longer tolerable. So, from the American point of view, this was a date of righteous revolution. Of course, from the British Crown's point of view, this was a date of insurrection. This was Insurrection Day. July 4th, 1776. It was those uppity colonists deciding that somehow they knew better than the righteous king and the good British authorities. And how dare they? Of course, the decision to sign the Declaration of Independence did not actually make for an actual political transformation. The war still had to be fought. There had been some skirmishes prior to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and after it was signed, there was the bulk of the war still to be fought. But it's still seen as the day in which the nation of the United States of America was born. Now, a lot could be said about how the United States of America used to be meant as plural, United States, because each of the states was seen as a sovereign entity initially. But that changed soon enough when things became federalized and state authorities were trumped by federal authorities, and this was pretty much decided at what could have been called the second attempted War of Independence, which is now labeled by history as the American Civil War, since it was won by those who wished to stop independence from happening. So you see how this works. The winners of the wars get to label the wars because the Americans won the war for independence because they just wore out the British, and the British were tired of devoting their resources to fighting those pesky colonists. They just eventually pulled out, and America achieved its independence. So therefore, the War of Independence, or the Revolutionary War, the American Revolutionary War, was enshrined by history. But in 1861, when there was another attempted War of Independence, and that war was lost by the South and won by the North, that war became known as the American Civil War, because it was thought all along, well, this was just one nation, and so those who were attempting to fight for their independence as independent entities, the southern states, they were declared to be insurrectionists. And the main point I want to come back to here is that one man's revolution is another man's insurrection. And you often hear, especially today, when disingenuous political rhetoric is rife and headache-inducing. You hear people turn on a dime from talking about how, if somebody gets elected that they don't like, they talk about how we need to blow up the White House and we need a revolution and we need to become ungovernable. And then when somebody that they like gets elected and others would like to challenge the legitimacy of that person's supposed election, then those people are labeled insurrectionists, as if that were something bad, as if being insurrectionists or rebels it was now a bad thing to be, when just a couple years earlier it was what they were pretty much promoting. So one man's revolution is another man's insurrection. If they're going to call you an insurrectionist for believing in injustice and opposing tyranny and fighting against tyranny and fighting for the restoration of just rule and the rule of law, if they're going to call you an insurrectionist for feeling that way and for declaring your allegiance to these principles, then you might as well just say that you're an insurrectionist, because I am whatever you say I am, in the words of Eminem. Hence the title of my book, The Insurrectionist. I decided to call it that because I remembered just getting worn out reading about people calling the Capitol Hill demonstration something that an attempted insurrection. And I thought to myself, well, they're going to call me an insurrectionist. They're going to call me a lover of insurrection. They're going to call me a fomenter of insurrection. Why not just be an insurrectionist? Why not just say, okay, you're right, I favor insurrection? Because in a way, July 4th, 1776 was Insurrection Day. And every day should be Insurrection Day, in my view. Thanks for watching. My name's Andy Nowicki. You can check out my work at altrightnovelist.com. Please check out my new book, The Insurrectionist, which I will leave the link to below. Thanks for watching, and happy 4th.